Hi, welcome to the Fourshade Studios podcast. I'm Devin Devon. With me here is Blake Bodenhammer and Brock Ferguson, and today is episode 30. We're going to be talking about the Animal Crossing Direct.
Yeah, we are.
KK's and Smashed. Called it. I knew it from the
I knew
moment
it.
that.
I knew it. His ult is so good.
Mm,
His smash combo attack.
mm-hmm,
His ultimate smash.
mm-hmm.
He hits you with his guitar. Yeah, your head splits open. It's fun.
Yeah, it's great.
So, aside from the fact that they led with the greatest information ever, that KK is in Smash, what else did they tell us about Animal Crossing?
So, you are on an island, if you didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
That's the big draw for this game.
So it's like Don't Starve. Got it.
Yeah, it's like
Yes.
Don't Starve Island
You're going to have,
Adventure.
Beefalo coming after you. You have to collect feces for fire. It's great.
So,
Oh,
your
so there's.
island, you get
Go
to
ahead.
pick your map, which is cool.
Yeah.
You've never been able to do this before. You just get like a random map. Except for this one, I believe you get to pick. What did it show off? Five different maps or three different maps?
I thought it was 4.
That
Maybe
was four.
I don't know.
But
It's like
that number before.
4, and you get to pick between the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, which affects the seasons.
Yeah, which I thought that was pretty cool
Yeah, did you
because
know that?
usually you don't get to do that.
Yeah, because screw Australia. Like, who has Christmas in the middle of July?
Yeah, that's right.
And
So at
snow
least
and
in this one, like your seasons and I guess mainly just your seasons will match up with what is going on in your real world environment, which is kind of neat.
Or if you want to have it be a different season than what you're experiencing currently, if that sounds more interesting to you.
Sure.
If you
Or you
want,
could just change your date and time of your Switch.
you could do that.
Or you just throw your Switch out the window
I mean,
on a
that's
car drive
very true.
to your
You
grandma's
could
house on a
very
Sunday.
much do that. It's true. That's very specific.
It's never happened before. You have any experience with that, Brock?
No, I do not go to my grandma's house ever.
I see.
I've also never been on an island, except for the giant island we live on.
That's true.
Which is
Like,
not
what
really
is an
an island.
island really?
Like, yeah.
Some might argue the Earth is an island in the vast universe.
Too deep, too existential.
Okay, give me a second to check this while I take in this.
While you think about life, drink your big boy juice. Drink your apple juice.
Is there specially formulated drinks in Animal Crossing this time? Because I feel like there wasn't before.
Formulated
It was
what?
never mind.
Okay, I guess there isn't.
Ghosts?
Drinks?
I thought he
Something?
said ghosts.
Formulated ghosts. Okay, anyway. You're on an island, if you haven't figured that out. And you can pick what hemisphere you're on and the map that you want to be in.
Tight.
Which
Lit.
is a lot more than you have been able to choose in the past.
And you can pick where your base is going to go
Yep.
on the map.
So,
But can't you pick your nose?
right. Can't pick your nose.
You can pick your friend's nose.
You can pick your base where you want to put it.
I think we should start over. This is too much joke and enough information.
That's fine.
Anyway, you can pick where you want your base. Couple of the villagers get to come live with you, and you can help them pick out where their house is going to be.
You mean they're tents to start?
Right.
Yes,
start-
sorry.
That
tents.
was a big reveal.
That was not a reveal today. We've known that.
No, but that doesn't have to be a tent.
Oh. Did we know
That
that
is-
before?
No,
I did not.
it's always been tents, I
You
believe.
just assumed.
Are you talking, Brock? You got talking to your mic.
I certainly just assumed that you would be able to have a house.
Hmm.
Yeah. So the first facility you get is like a what do they keep calling it?
The DIY or
It's
the island services.
yeah, your island services building. It's basically like where your headquarters is going to be for I think a lot of the game. It's kind of like your town hall if you've played previous games. It's like you can build all your initial supplies there. You can build some furniture there. It's where things get done.
It's where you can sell some stuff. It's like a combination of a few different buildings, like
Yeah.
the recycling shop and town hall, and it gets upgraded throughout the game. And Isabel can move in, hang out.
So yeah, it acts as like a lot of places. Again, they're trying to give it like this deserted island feel. So of course you're not gonna have like a bunch of buildings and like a sprawling city. Or you have like this one little tent to start, and it looks like it can expand later in the game. So what else we got?
I think let's stop there. So, one of the first themes of this entire direct that I saw is that because you're starting from nothing, they have like they took the ceiling of Animal Crossing, the in game where you just gather things and get furniture, and took it from here and put it way up here and dropped you way down here.
Yeah,
So it seems like you're going to spend way more time playing the game and progressing than you ever have before,
Yeah.
which is wonderful because I mean Animal Crossing is fun in the in game, but it's always cool to have something else to do. And right off the bat, with all of these ways to upgrade things, they made it very, very clear that you're going to spend way more time than you ever have continually upgrading just your basic buildings and whatnot. Not
yeah,
just, decorating your house because you feel like it
yeah. That's
in the
true. I mean, I didn't really think about it like that until you just said that, but that does give way for more gameplay if they kind of you're not even at like the level of having a house or anything at the beginning. Like you're at bare necessities. You're like, I have a tent. I don't even know if you have like an axe or anything or like a
I think you have to build your stuff at the DIY shop.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's gonna work because like I
Yeah.
assume you need like rocks and like wood to make like an axe or like any sort of tools. So I wonder if they give you something at the beginning or
Maybe.
how it
That
works.
is the tutorial. That is definitely the tutorial.
Yeah. Or maybe you have to get like maybe you have to like forage a little bit to get some like bells,
Mm.
and it kind of teaches you can like sell like seashells, fruit, like almost anything, and then like you can buy supplies from there. Like you can get an axe, and then you can cut down a tree to get some wood.
Mm. Something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I like that also as you're upgrading your stuff, you get rewarded, not just in the sense that like it makes things easier for you, but like I think it mentioned after a while if you build enough stuff, you can like become or you get like an architect's license or something,
Yeah.
and you can like make cliffs and ponds and paths and fences and stuff like that,
Yeah.
which is kind of nice. That waterfall they showed off though was pretty great. I like the waterfall.
Yeah, I did think that was pretty crazy. Some of the customization you can do in your town is just like nuts in this game.
Hmm.
Go through some of that before we talk through all of it.
So they did show that at the service tent or whatever we're calling it, you can basically when you're making furniture, you can paint it. So they showed the example of like a bed frame, I believe, and like it was like a wooden frame, and you could have it be like a wooden color or like a painted green, a painted brown, a painted red, whatever, and then like so there's that level of customization where you can change like the kind of structure of the furniture, like the bones of it. And then if you're if that piece of furniture has like fabric to it. So like let's take the bed example. You can change the color of the bed frame, but then it showed you could also change like the pattern of the sheets and things. And same things goes for like they showed like off a sofa and like you could change the wooden frame color and then it had like three
Cushions.
yeah like three cushions and each one had like your design on it.
Yeah, you create those customizations from like designs you make or whatever, or you can scan a QR code for someone else's design.
Yeah, which they had that in the previous ones. You could scan QR codes if some like if you found a design online or something or from someone else, but they've you've never been able to like really customize furniture in that way. You could always put those designs on shirts and flags and kind of just like other miscellaneous things, but it never was like a furniture pattern, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, the customization like within the furniture, I feel like is completely new. I haven't played since Wild World, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, New
But that
Leaf, you
just
definitely couldn't do a lot of that.
that like opens up like an entire new level of obsessing over what your stuff actually likes or looks like,
Right.
which I'm sure people are going to go ridiculous about it.
Oh yeah.
That's about to be me.
Well, and then so not even there's that level of customization, but then later in the direct, kind of like Devin was alluding to, they showed off that you can customize basically the your environment, which is crazy.
Hmm.
So you can destroy cliffs, you can basically cut out waterways, you can fill in waterways, you can put stairs if you want to go up a cliff at a certain place. Bridges are returning like they've been in all the games in the series. It's just like crazy like stuff.
Hmm.
Like
I think it's good to point out that that's like the end game, though. They
right,
definitely don't let you do any of the land customization until you've basically beaten the entire game.
Hmm.
right,
I think that's good because that makes it more. That means you're going to be playing most of the game as Animal Crossing has always worked, which is, you know, dealing with the fact that your house or something's not in the perfect spot,
right,
and then
Right.
later on you can customize it to make your perfect town. But
right.
I like that it's an in-game thing. It's not, hey, build your town from the get-go. We're not going to decide anything for you,
Hmm.
because that's what I was actually afraid of, is that they were going to make it like too customizable and make people like not play Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
But that wasn't
because
the case.
I mean, like if you make it too customizable, then you make it, for me at least, it makes it too easy, which then like kind of it's like why are you playing it at that point? I mean,
Right.
Animal Crossing, it's not really a game you play for the challenge anyway, but it's like I feel like there's something to like having to run down and like cross this bridge that's kind of out of the way, but that's just how your town is. It's like that's one of the your town has to have like some flaws to give it some sort of character, I think.
Hmm.
It's the same reason you don't have 200 item slots on your character. Because if you could carry 200 peaches at the same time, then what's the point?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, and like on your house, it's not like a game where you wanna. It's not like where you want to like check off all the boxes on a list or something like, oh, I collected all the furniture pieces. Like, sure, you do that with like fish and fossils and bugs and things like that, but it's not like you only have like a limited amount of space in your house. Like, you just make do with it and like make it kind of your own.
Hmm.
So yeah, I think it is smart that you can change some of those things that you don't like, but it is kind of locked away at the end game, which is good. To kind of live out your town, and then if you kind of make your way through the game, you can change it if you want. So I think that's really all in terms of customization, I mean that's a lot, but I don't know. That's really all they showed. What
I
else can you
mean,
guys think of?
you
And
can move furniture half spaces. Have we talked about this enough? I know we talked about it when it first came
Oh
out.
yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about like all the how you can design.
oh yeah. So I mean, like Brock said, you can move things half spaces. They showed off this feature where you can select a group of things and move them, which I
Yeah,
thought was pretty cool.
Well, that wasn't really the feature. The feature is that you don't have to physically move your guy.
Right.
Pick up
oh yeah,
things. You go into like a designer mode where it's literally just like you with the stylus moving things around.
Right.
They completely eliminate every single barrier to designing things with your
Mhm.
furniture. Like,
right.
because let's be honest, it was pretty freaking annoying to position things in all the other games where you had to run your guy around.
Right.
They really want you to go in and like customize your house to insane levels of what you want.
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
And you can finally see your house from other angles, except that's not just that front view that you get with the camera front, which I really
right. Yeah,
appreciated.
Mhm.
that was cool. Like when it was showing off that tool where you can move your furniture around without the player doing it. Like they had it kind of like a skewed isometric view, which I thought was cool.
Yep.
Anything else on design that you wanted to touch on? Only that one thing.
I mean, I can't really think of anything else.
You can change the roof of your house, I believe. Um,
Oh, yes, you can. It's like way easier to do that now instead of waiting around. Like in New Leaf, they had this architecture store or whatever,
Yeah.
and you had to wait for your specific style and color of roof to appear. And it looks like in this, you can just go to a drop down menu of like all the different kinds and just change it from there instead of having to wait around, which I
Hmm.
thought was nice. And same with like a mailbox and things like that.
Oh yeah.
bridges were definitely in that. Stairs had different types of stairs.
Yep.
Mhm.
Paths, we've seen the pathing, which
Oh yeah.
I still don't know if I'm actually going to do that because it seems so extra to make sidewalks in your town.
I don't know. I feel like that.
But
I
Oh,
feel like it's gonna add.
I'll do it.
It's gonna like turn your town from being like
A deserted
an
island to a
island to yeah,
town.
feeling more like civilized or something.
And you
I
can
guess
round out the corners.
Yeah.
you couldn't even do that in Roller Coaster Tycoon, so I'm gonna go
I know.
crazy.
Whoa, we're stepping up. That is something that is kind of neat though, because in the previous games, the only way you could do that is if you made a pattern for it,
Mhm.
and if you wanted to, that would take up a pattern slot, and then like New Leaf, you only had a certain amount of pattern slots. So if you wanted to use all your pattern slots to make a path, then you were pretty much done. You couldn't put any more patterns on clothes or anything else. So that is pretty neat. Um, I can't remember what I was gonna say. I thought there was one more thing that I thought of that'll come to me.
This probably isn't big, but I saw a little in the town hall when you talk to Isabel. She does ask you about the town tune, which is very near and dear to my heart, and I hope they never take away.
I don't think
Mhm.
they ever will.
And the town flag, which once
Yep.
again, you have to assume they're in there, but if they were to take those away, that would like destroy one of the core
Right.
foundations of Animal Crossing.
Right.
Yeah. The
So
town
I'm
tune
happy that
for
I saw
sure
those.
they have to keep,
Oh yeah.
because like whenever you first whenever you do anything, you always hear it. When
Mhm.
animals are talking to you and
Yeah.
greeting you, that's always the tune that plays.
Yeah.
Oh, what I was gonna say earlier was, um, while we were talking about house customization and all that, it looks like, and what I was kind of afraid of at the beginning was that you'd be stuck to a tent or something, because that's the only thing they
Yeah.
ever showed.
Mhm.
but they did finally like officially announce that you can, like in all the other games, like upgrade, pay off your loan to Nook, and then get a house.
Well, I mean, I figured that because
I
like,
did too, but I just it's good to
well,
hear.
in the past when they've like showed a lot of the game when they were like originally showing the paths or whatever before this direct,
Yeah,
like they showed
did they show houses?
houses.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I just wasn't paying attention then. But yeah, you can when they were talking about that, they also showed that like just like in all the other games, you can keep paying off loans to expand other rooms.
Mhm.
So nothing is nothing's being dropped in this game, which is promising. Like nothing that I've seen that has been a big thing I've seen is going away.
Mhm.
There could be
That was
some
actually,
little things that I don't know because I'm not like a. I mean, I'm a fan, but I'm not like I wouldn't call myself a super fan. So I don't know. There could be some things that other people have gripes about leaving, but not that I've seen.
yeah, that's actually what surprised me is they spent so much time showing functions that you always knew were there, but never really thought about.
Right.
And then they would expand on that and say, hey, this is why this is actually even better than it ever was.
Right.
Mhm.
So yeah, I don't think anything was ever really left out that seemed obvious to me.
Yeah. So they showed like some exploration, I guess, type things. Like in the world, there's some new things that can like cause you some trouble, I guess, that are kind of dangerous. They showed off like scorpions and snakes and ghosts,
Mhm.
which I thought was kind of interesting. We've only ever had like a bee, like a little beehive that falls that acts as like something that's dangerous in the Animal Crossing universe. So those that was at least different. I thought that was kind of cool.
See, this worries me because I play Animal Crossing to have a good time and have my heart rate stay at 60 BPM.
Okay.
What happens if a scorpion crawls on the screen? I jump up to 90, have a heart attack, and die. What what were you thinking, Nintendo? What
You guys got to catch it in a net, and you can take it to the museum, right?
stupid museum. I never did the museum.
Or you get stung and you're poisoned,
That's what I'm.
and you might die. No, you pass
Oh,
out, but
you,
like
That's
it.
what I'm worried about. What's gonna happen? Like with the scorpion, like the bees, it somehow stings your eye, and you have this weird like mat over
you,
your eye.
can we
Like,
can we talk about that? So in my entire of Animal Crossing, it's always seemed to me that like you're pulling extra skin over your eye. Is
yeah,
that what that looks like? Is that what that is, or is it a
I
bandit?
I would like I interpret it as like
I thought it was swelling.
that's what I thought. Like you get stung by a bee, and then like somehow like your cheek or something is swollen up so big it like covers your eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what it is. I've It's always been disgusting to me because I'm thinking of someone like pulling all of this over your eye.
Yikes. Yeah, but like I was thinking like if a scorpion or a snake is supposed to be dangerous, that's on like a whole new level of dangerous than a bee is. Like sure people are allergic to bee stings, but like a scorpion venom or snake venom, like are they gonna represent that in the same way where it like oh it bit your eye basically like what?
Well, I mean, it showed in the trailer like you can pass out.
Yeah,
It didn't know that.
Mhm.
it was like it showed like a person with bee stings already. It had the little thing over the eye, but then I think they got stung again, and then they like died.
I hope they do it something that's kind of punishing, but not like you start limping after you get stung by a scorpion, so you have to
Oh,
limp all
like
the way to town hall or something.
you're like slowed or something,
Yeah,
50% like movement speed. I don't know. That'll be interesting. They also showed off this feature where if you're in need of help or something, if you're lost, you can use your little cell phone and they like send like a helicopter to come pick you up. I don't
so did that make any sense to you?
No.
Like why that
I
exists?
I was trying to think of reasons of when that would be useful and like I was thinking like the only thing that I could think of is if like somehow you get stuck,
Mhm.
and I was thinking like, because you know how you have that little like vaulting pole to get over like
Yeah,
rivers and things. I was thinking like maybe some of those tools have like a durability rating. Maybe after so many uses they break or something. So like you use this vaulting pole to get over a little stream and then it breaks and then it's like, well, what do I do now?
that's exactly what I was thinking. Is like that or the land modifying tools somehow allow you to box yourself in.
Right.
And so they put this in the game and thought, oh crap, now what?
Yeah.
We have to have a rescue service, which is useful one out of every million times.
Well, and like
But yeah,
they were like more like trying to market it as like if you get lost, use this. So
that made no sense.
maybe like if a little kid is playing and they like wander too far away from their house or something. But I was like, these maps are so small and like you just hit the map button. It's so easy to digest the information. Like I don't know.
Maybe you're too
I,
lazy to walk all the way back home.
That too. I was
that could
thinking
be
that
it.
actually. I was like, maybe like speedrunners will use this for like an
Speedrun Animal
exploit,
Crossing.
Hear me out.
like fast travel.
Maybe you can act. I have two theories. You can actually zoom out the map from what they showed, and maybe the map is actually as big as Breath of the Wild. You just keep
Oh,
zooming out.
okay. There's like
Mhm.
several islands that are on your
Exactly,
actual map.
exactly.
Yeah.
Or this is theory number two. Um, the land creation actually allows you to create land infinitely. So you could just, you know,
Oh, that's
keep
true.
building out into the ocean. So maybe lost.
I wonder how that will work. I wonder if it's like once you hit the beach, it's like there's like a no build zone or something.
Probably.
That's exactly it. It's got to be it. But I still prefer to believe that the map is actually as big as Breath of the Wild. So
One thing I thought was really cool about the map as it changed through the seasons is there's like some new stuff to do. Like
Oh
you
yeah,
can collect mushrooms now,
in the fall. Yeah.
and in the winter you can make snowmen.
Yep.
And I thought the interactions with flowers were interesting because usually you can just like pick up a flower
Yeah.
and like it removes the plant from that area, but here you can take the flower off the plant. The plant still stays there unless you then dig it up.
Yeah.
I also noticed that the typical money rock didn't just like shoot out money. You know, the rock in Animal Crossing you can shoot, or not shoot, but like dig with a shovel at.
Yeah.
It usually either puts out money or gemstones.
I saw that, but I was like more thinking that it was just like when you hit a tree you get wood. Like
Yeah.
if you hit a rock you get ore
Well, yeah.
or a rock.
Yeah.
I still think though because they did show off money rocks.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I noticed that they had like ore coming out of it.
Yeah, it looked like coal or something. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm
One.
wondering how that will work. Like if rocks will like respawn or something because like they seem like they'd be such a finite resource, and if you're able to destroy them, like
Well,
I don't
I
know.
mean, I don't think you're gonna be able to destroy them because with the money rock, you just hit it until money stops coming out and then it stays. I'm sure it probably will be
Right.
something similar for the ore.
I guess I was more just thinking of like when they showed off cutting down a tree. Like wood was
Mm-hmm.
coming out,
Yeah.
but then like it destroyed the tree.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. Maybe you can hit the rock like several times, and then rock comes out, but then you can only do that like twice or three times, and then like no more resources come out.
I mean, you just brought up a good point. Too, based on what we know, literally rocks are the only thing that you cannot move. The only thing.
Yeah, true.
So I feel like you have to be able to destroy it.
Mm.
And maybe you have to pilfer like the random island trip thing
Oh
You
yeah.
use that to go get more trees or more rocks, and then bring them back into your
That's what I
town.
don't know. I don't know.
Do you want to talk about those like excursion trips?
Yeah.
So it sounds like you have quests basically. Um, like go find 10 fish or go catch like 5 beetles or something like that. And you get these things called like Nook
Yeah.
Miles,
Nook Miles.
and you can exchange them for trips to other islands, kind of similar to what New Leaf did, where you could take the boat to the little island getaway. But these islands seem more extensive and they're different every
They
time.
seem like the size of your island, which
Yeah,
is cool.
but you can get different fruit. Like we saw peaches on one and different bugs and
Yeah.
fish and things like that. So it seems like they function similarly to that getaway island, but are bigger and different every time.
I'm wondering how like different those getaway islands are going to be. Like if they're
Yeah,
all going to be within your season that you're currently in, or if like
on in the montage that they showed, one of the like six they showed looks literally like no environment I've ever seen in
really,
Animal Crossing. Yeah, I forgot what it looked like, but it was way different from the others.
that's weird.
So
Huh. Well, hopefully they are like pretty diverse, because that would be interesting. It'd suck if they're all like just the same exact climate as yours.
So, one weird thing that we saw was in one of the little clips, there was a fishing pole in the ground over by the river.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know what that meant.
I wonder if you can just like leave your pole to sit and come back and see if there's like a fish on it or something, like you set a trap almost.
Yeah, I didn't know if like you could come back to it and like a fish would be on the line and you have to reel it in, or if that's just the way they're showing that item being on the ground. Because like in all the other games, whenever you put items on the ground, they look so weird. They're just like flat objects.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm wondering if like they actually are deciding to like 3D model like clothing put on the ground, fruit put on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
just stuff like that.
they actually did show someone picking up like a large um, piece of furniture, and it just turned into the standard leaf
Hmm.
that they've always been using. So
Interesting.
I think those at this point are just kind of like a style thing. They're not going to get rid of them.
Well, you can put. It's weird because you can put furniture in the world,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess is different than any other game too.
Yeah. I like that you can put like benches
We're
and
kind of
things
like
outside.
glossing over that, but I guess that is kind of a big new thing.
Mm-hmm.
Furniture is not just a thing that
Restricted.
goes in your house. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh my God, I'm going to build a baseball field in my world with all sorts
Ooh.
of furniture.
Well, did you see like
There's a
there's like a
playground.
playground like someone like had painted like a little rectangle of it looked like sand texture, and there was like a little fence and like a little toy slide and like a beach ball or something. So it's like you can I feel like you're gonna be able to get pretty crazy with like some of the outdoor furniture. Because I always thought that was weird. Like you could get all this outdoor furniture to put in your house, but it just felt so out of place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. No kidding though, my excitement just went way up because I haven't had a goal. That's a good goal.
That is a good goal. I wonder how you may have to do it like kind of skewed or something. You may have to like do like the baselines as like a path or something. But I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to do paths at a diagonal.
Right, so
Does that
it's
make
gonna have to be
sense?
like northwest, north and then west, not like
Right.
west. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe you will
Oh,
be able to. I don't know. I mean, they're getting pretty crazy on customization. But
I
I
will
think it's
definitely
like
be
it
trying.
seems more like tile set. Like I
Yeah.
don't think they would make be able to do diagonal stuff.
Yeah. One thing that is returning. Well, they showed off that multiple buildings can be built that are like services.
Yeah.
Like the Able sisters are back making clothing.
Yep.
They're like traveling merchants, like the skunk shoe guy and
Yep.
uh,
Turnip Tom. I don't know his actual name, but Turnip Guy.
Tortimer, the
um,
old mayor.
but one my favorite part probably of the whole direct was when they showed off the museum.
The museum looked awesome.
It looked so good. I want to
Why?
live there.
It looked
I mean,
so
it did,
good,
but why? It was like not even an animal. It had like lighting and everything.
which is
It
awesome.
was cool. Like the whole environment for like the bug place,
Yeah, it was
like
sweet. The the aquarium part was like massive.
and like the dinosaur museum was like
It's like Ninth Museum.
it had moody lighting and you could walk underneath some of the fossils.
I don't think they showed pictures, did they? The artwork
I don't think
No,
so.
portion.
Mm-mm.
I forgot those were in there. But yeah, actually, I hope you can place furniture in the butterfly captivity zone because that was actually pretty cool, and I want to
I
just
don't
make
know if
that
you'll
my.
be able to put furniture in the museum. I think it'd be awesome if you could, but I don't know if you'll be able to do that.
I thought this game was about customization.
That's in the next one. They have to have something they can work towards.
I think generally the trend of all Nintendo games have been, this is so big we can never match this. So I'm actually half convinced that Nintendo might just end
Yeah.
after the
The Switch
Switch.
is just the ultimate console, and then that's it.
Yeah, so we'll see.
So one thing that I've been thinking about as we've been talking that they did show off, I think they showed this off originally, was your little Nook phone. I don't know what it's called. It's it's basically your
It's called it.
menu. Your menu. What is it called?
You were right, Nick Phone.
Yeah, it's basically an iPhone. um, but they showed off several things it can do, like
Map,
map
a
was
camera,
one. Your
a
Nook
camera,
miles, you can look at your Nook miles on it.
rescue. Um, I think
Rescue.
it had your crafting recipes. Maybe
Yeah,
didn't have some.
something like that. Um, it showed multiplayer stuff. Do you want to talk about multiplayer?
Yes, but good transition to that from the Nick Phone. I'm pretty sure one of the functions was the messaging system,
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
which is I love it. It actually this is one of my favorite things because of how pointless it is.
Yeah,
Remember in I forgot which games you could do this in. You could probably do it in Animal Crossing Wii. You
yeah,
could post messages to that board, that message board on the Wii menu,
yeah.
and technically other people could go look at them, and you would think, "Oh, yay! I exchanged messages with my friend." Well,
Right.
now you can do that, except it's 2020, and we all have 70,000 different ways to send messages.
Yeah,
But what's one way now? Animal Crossing.
I know.
It's so dumb and yet so adorable.
I don't know. I thought it was kind of it it looked good when the text popped up above your character when you're sending messages. Like I at least like that you can type whatever you want. I assume. I don't think they're pre-made messages.
We're talking about two different things.
Okay, what are you talking about then?
I'm talking about the letters. You can legit send letters.
Oh, okay, okay. I see.
Yes, but you can also send messages,
I didn't
which
realize that you could do. I didn't know that that was a function of the Nook phone.
I'm pretty sure it is, but I'm not sure.
I mean, it probably is.
I
I'm not. I don't know why it wouldn't be.
I thought there was something in like the airport where you can send like postcards.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe.
I have no idea what it's talking about, but I rented, so whatever.
Well, Nintendo will pick up that idea if it's not going to be in the game, and they'll do it in the next one.
So yeah, you said multiplayer.
Yeah. So from the phone, one of the options is multiplayer, and from what I at least think it is I think if you have Nintendo accounts on your Switch, or maybe they have to be Animal Crossing accounts. Again, correct me if you like interpreted it differently, but you basically click this icon on your phone. It's like the multiplayer option, and then you can pick who you want to come to your island. And so like they showed off like mom, dad, sister or something, and like three people came to this one person's island. So they had four people basically running around. Your character was like the lead character, and it looked like they could make more decisions or something than the others. But then you could also pass the lead to other characters at certain times.
I think it wasn't you could make more decisions, you just decided where people go. Like
Oh
you
yeah,
control the camera.
yeah. It was definitely that. You control the camera,
Well,
but I also thought it was like in shops or something. You could only do the shops, or like maybe you could only spend money or something.
it was definitely something related to the. I took you can talk to people, which I think is the most likely.
Yeah,
Um, so that would include the shops. I'm curious to listen to you guys to see how quote useful or fun that is because I could see why being able to like tag team an entire forest and just poddle around together might be somewhat fun, but I think it'll probably be too limited to actually be like a full time,
yeah.
hey, we're playing Animal Crossing together type thing.
That's kind of what I was thinking. Like, I don't know how useful it's gonna be. Like, if your guests don't get to have like their own house or anything, it's just kind of like I don't know.
It seems like it would be kind of a pain.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. I feel like it'd be weird like tagging along in that kind of thing.
Just one thing. I think from what I could tell, you couldn't just have like random guests. The only people that are going to be with you in that mode are the other people living on your items or island.
And that's
Like,
yeah, and that's what I couldn't quite figure that out. I didn't know like let's say I have a file of Animal Crossing on one island, and then Devin has a file on Animal Crossing of a completely different island, but we still have our Nintendo accounts on the same Switch. Like how that would work if we're going to be able to go to each other's island as guests, or like if we have to be both on the same island to play.
I don't know.
from what I know, it might be the second, which I think is people's biggest gripe about the game right now.
Right.
I don't care. I don't want to play with anyone else.
Right, which you might have to. We can share the island, and that's not ideal for some
Right.
people.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you can have up to 8 people that live on your island, but you can only play with 4 other people on the same console.
Yeah.
But if you want to play with 8 people, you have to use different systems, which I thought was strange.
I think you just have
Oh,
to have two consoles,
Yeah.
four on each.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I don't know if I'll ever get the chance to play 8 people Animal Crossing, but who knows?
I mean,
Don't have enough friends.
That's right.
we'll make it happen.
Just join the Discord group. I guess that wouldn't work unless they all came to you.
I could play with my friend Claire. She's gonna get it.
That's one person.
Well, she lives with 3 other people, so.
Ooh, we're getting close. Now I just need a friend.
That's right. So, the Nintendo online app, the one that you can usually do voice chat with, this
I
is
thought
going to
we were
be.
going to ignore this.
Well, I was already like talking about this when you were talking about postcards or something. because this is what I thought you were talking about as far as communication. That's going to be a thing for this game. They said it wasn't going to release with the game, but shortly after in March, I think, which this game comes out March 20th, so it's like coming out the week after, I'm guessing. I don't know. But I think you can do voice chat. Is that
Yeah.
wrong?
That is right.
But then you can also do like basically text messagey type things where like your text appears above your character's head.
Indeed.
And that's the thing I didn't know if it was preset text or if you could type whatever you wanted.
I can't wait for all of the screenshots of Am saying very things.
Right. And that's part of the reason why I was thinking they may do preset text, because they don't want stuff like that showing up in their games, but who knows?
You mean I can't type in the eggplant emoji?
Nope.
There are no eggplants
As
in Animal
hungry as
Crossing.
you are.
It's terrible.
But you could use the peach. So
Right. Peaches are...
They're in the
They're
game.
in the game. They're a fruit. So, yeah. That's the Nintendo voice chat. It's pretty awesome,
Cool.
like always.
I will be downloading the app and looking at how bad it is. Then
I do want to check it out. I currently have checked it out for like things like Splatoon, but then I immediately deleted it from my phone. So we'll see.
yeah,
Another thing they mentioned was when the game comes out, they're going to have an update for it, and they're going to have several free updates
Yep.
for the game where they include like extra stuff. Like with this first one, you get to participate in Bunny Day,
Easter.
which is Easter.
It just sounds like they're going to be just the holiday events,
Yeah.
right.
which I
And
thought was
they-
weird. Like, why are those not just built into the game? I was curious why those were being considered like updates or DLC.
The explanation I heard, which I thought was probably right, is that they don't want people skipping forward in time and seeing all the holidays.
Oh,
so
that
they-
is probably that is smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, like changing your system clock or whatever.
Right, because I'm pretty sure that once you download Bunny Day, you're going to get Bunny Day for the rest of your Switch's life, right? You're not going to have to rely on them,
Okay, yeah.
because that
makes
would
sense.
be very infuriating if they do it like as a live event, and then
Yeah.
5
You can
years
only
from now,
do
when
it
the Switch
during
is
that
gonna-
time. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, that's cool, I guess. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way, but see, like I've never been one to change my system clock in Animal Crossing. Like if nothing's going on that day, I'm just like, okay, time to put the game down.
Same.
Yes, me too. Are you there, Brock? We may have lost Brock.
Oh God.
He's lost. He's lost to the ether. All right, we're back
After
after
some
technical difficulties. We're doing it live.
Wait, I thought that was our first commercial. We got sponsored by.
We did
Animal Crossing,
by Nintendo. Who
New
would've
Leaf,
thought?
but New Leaf.
I thought Nintendo's version of sponsoring internet things was to shut them down completely.
Yeah. Oh, my phone's here. That's breaking continuity. All right, so there's amiibo functionality. That's something that they showed off. If you have any of the older Animal Crossing amiibo or amiibo cards, those will work. It looks like they bring those villagers to your town.
Into the campsite.
Yeah, into the campsite, which you then have the opportunity to bring those villagers into your town.
I thought it was kind of
Does that-
funny. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Does that include Fox McCloud?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice. Okay, good.
He's an animal.
I thought it
He
was.
deserves respect.
funny that when they first showed the campsite, you're like, did you see that? There's an onigiri shop. You thought like the little sign out front of
I thought the
the.
tint icon looked like a little rice ball thing. You know the little
They did,
triangle kind of
yeah,
rice balls, and it
yeah.
has the square flap for the tint. I was like,
I,
I was like, is this like a cafe building or something?
And then it showed that there was like a potential villager inside of it, and you're like, oh man, I thought it was a rice ball shop.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want this stupid hamster with a lollipop. It's dumb.
But they
they
do
did.
have. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I
Oh,
was
sorry.
gonna say that they do have like some sort of restaurant or whatever, like a Chinese round table restaurant. You
When?
saw that? It
That
was
was
like,
someone's house.
It
it looked.
was.
Oh,
Because I was going to say, yeah, there's a bunch of Japanese decor because there's a Japanese house.
Yeah.
And since we haven't talked about it yet, I'll just bring it up. They showed the um, basically clothing picking wheel and changed him into a kimono instantly.
mhm,
Oh, yeah,
At
the
one
little
point.
magic wand or something.
yeah.
So, yeah,
I
there
did think that
is.
was cool. It's good that you brought that up because I think I would have forgot. But it looks like a lot of the menus are circle menus.
Mhm.
So like
No,
your outfits are all on like a circle menu or something. You're shaking your head no.
that's one of the things you unlock with Nook Miles. That's what I thought was
Oh,
cool about it.
okay, that's
All,
awesome then.
it looked like that, like the convenience things like that is something you unlock, which to me is like brilliant
That is
because
awesome.
Animal Crossing is perfectly fine as it is, but that just makes it like better, right?
Right,
So it gives you something else to work towards, and it's something you'll actually use.
right.
So that I thought was one of the smartest things in the entire direct.
That is smart. Yeah, because I did see sometimes that they were using their like traditional looking inventory, but then like later in it when they were picking out a tool to use or something, they were it was like a circle menu. It had like the axe, the fishing rod, whatever,
Yeah,
shovel. So yeah.
because I'm pretty sure he also said like you could get extra storage spaces or stuff like
Yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah. I did hear that. So that's interesting. I didn't know that. That is cool. Um I guess going back to Amiibo real quick. Did you see that they said like KK Slider won't be available like right off the bat or something?
Like some
Yeah,
characters.
Yeah, they said some characters, but they like specifically showed his amiibo, and I was like,
Mhm.
what?
that was odd. I don't know what to make of that.
I
It'll probably
mean,
be some update, you know.
if you were a famous pop star, would you come to a deserted island to play your music?
Fire Festival.
Oh,
Wait,
you're so
how
right.
is KK Slider is not famous? He's famous in one town,
That is
and
true.
let's be honest. He uses a heck of a lot of auto tune. Like I don't understand why.
That's
It's
true.
T Pain.
He's T-Pain of the Animal Crossing universe.
Yeah, I'm curious as to why they decided to not just make him in the game and why he has to be this addition.
I think it'll be like a event. It'll be some big hype thing that they want to. It'll be like a month or two after release. They're like when people are like falling off the series, that are gonna want to bring everybody back with him.
That could be it, yeah, and that makes sense.
I feel like it's gonna be like a thing, like a month after this Easter Bunny Day or whatever it is. It's gonna be like, oh, kick off the summer with KK Slider music every Saturday night.
Fire Festival, let's go.
I do hope, like, after they do their thing with him, he has his Saturday night concert, like always, or whatever.
Yeah, to get the music, because I mean, the only items it looks like you get in your tent to begin with are a radio and like a lamp, which
Yep.
the radio, what would be the purpose unless to put music?
It's actually blasting MCR,
Sweet.
the Simish version.
Nice.
But in Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing version. They definitely have that made somewhere. Um, One of the other things they talked about that's kind of a miscellaneous thing was um, you can recover your save game if your console's like destroyed or lost or something, which I thought was interesting. It's not. They specifically said it wasn't going to be cloud synced, but it's some other service that I guess you can contact them if you lose your console or if it breaks or something. And I think you can only do it one time. I think if you read the fine print, it's like specifically says you can recover this data once.
It's so dumb. But then again, hopefully it never affects me.
Yeah. So I at least think that's good because a lot of people will probably sink like years and years into this game until the next one comes out, and it would really suck to lose all that progress.
Yeah, especially since we presume there's going to be an update to a Switch at some point. So I'm
Right.
sure more than zero people are going to somehow screw moving between Switches
Yeah,
and
like
lose their
corrupt
save
their
game.
data or something.
Yeah,
It's very
which would
possible.
like if that happened to my Animal Crossing village, I know I'd like never want to go back.
Yeah,
Just be
you'd
too
like
sad
never
of it.
want to restart it.
So at least the option's there. But I wish it was just cloud saved or you know.
Yeah. Oh well, maybe Nintendo will get there someday. All right. Is there anything else you guys can think of that stood out to you? I'm kind of drawing a blank. I think we covered a lot of it.
The graphics looked pretty good, as in exactly what I expected.
They look very good. It's very cute, very charming, very almost like a claymation style or something. It's very like Nintendo. I don't know. It's good.
I expect it to be Link's Awakening, but better. Basically, is my bar.
Yeah, it kind of is in a similar style to that.
Um, I'm looking over a list.
Looking.
I I guess we've already mentioned it, but you said like you can place your houses, you can buy parcels of land for new villagers to move in and whatnot. So I guess basically, I'm wondering how people set up their towns. Like if everybody's gonna cluster all of their houses and buildings and everything in one corner, and then have a giant wilderness.
That is something that I did notice in one of the videos that they showed off during the direct. It did look like, at least in one of the towns that they had pre-made, they clustered all their towns and like had all these paths going between them to make it more like a town or something, like a little civilization,
Yeah,
which I did think looked really cool because in the other games the houses were so far away from each other that it seemed like almost villagers were just like disconnected in a way.
I mean, definitely most of the villagers are pretty annoying, right?
That too. Maybe you want them to be like on a cliff overlooking the sea.
I am pretty excited to see just what other people do with all the customization, and I fully expect some towns that completely blow our minds that
Oh
we
yeah.
find on
Oh yeah.
just the.
That's what the Animal Crossing community is good for.
Oh, when you are visiting a friend from the airport, so basically like online play, I did notice that the code to visit your friend is only like 5 digits. So it's still a dumb code with random letters and numbers, but it's only 5 digits long. So
Right.
that's less dumb.
Right. It's not like a giant friend code 12 digit thing you have to type in. Which that is good. I mean, in like in Pokemon Sword and Shield they kind of did that same thing where you set like a room code. It's like 3 digit code. It's like what are the chances of someone randomly picking that? Probably pretty low by the time that you're going to be actually in that room. It's going to be populated. So
Right.
it's smart.
Don't get me wrong, it could be way better, but
Yeah, for sure.
we
But
get what we can take
we're getting somewhere with Nintendo Online.
somewhere. I think that's it, though. I have no other.
Anything you can think of, Devin?
Nah.
Nah. All right.
You
Well, I think
didn't talk very much, and this is your game. Like,
right. She's just busy thinking about all the hours she's gonna sink into it.
I'm thinking about how I'm gonna set up my town right now.
Well, what are your thoughts?
I don't know.
Still stewing?
Still thinking about
All
it.
right. Get back to us on it then.
All right, sounds great.
All right.
if you guys can only share an island, I want you to build a river literally down the middle, and that will be.
That's the dividing line.
We have towns on opposite ends.
I think that would be kind of a cool idea to like have one person's side of the island be like one style and then the other one be like completely different style.
I
Yeah.
would try and do that with like old RTS games like Age of Mythology. I would try and like set up the buildings in like a town type structure.
Yeah.
Like all the houses would go like up on a cliff and like
Well, you can do it.
I know. I know.
And here I thought you were talking about StarCraft.
No.
I used to pet my cute little zergling. It was like home for them.
More like Fenris Wolf.
More like more methane gas.
Hydra.
Methane? Vespine.
Vespine gas. Sorry, methane. I'm living in the real world too much. All right, let's get out of here before this gets off the rails too much.
Peace.
This has been the Fourshade Studios podcast, episode number 30, talking about Animal Crossing Direct, February 20th.
And we need more minerals.
We need more minerals, boy. You can find us at All Things Podcast. That's gonna
All
do it.
Things Podcast.
All Things Podcast. Bye.
We are the podcast.